assistance and should you require their advice, please feel free to approach either Leon, Ron, George, and of course the listing agents, Joel Viavattene and Andrew DeSanto, who's inside at the moment, who I'm sure many, if not all of you, have had the great pleasure of becoming acquainted with throughout the marketing campaign. Guys, before we start, I'd like to share with you the following announcements which are in place to help you the buyers bid and buy with confidence. The auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that were made available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price as the auctioneer I will indicate bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding and provides for fines for such conduct. The rules permit for vendor bids. The words I'll use during the auction to indicate that I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, can make a vendor bid. Now buyers, the contract of sale has been provided to you and on display prior to today's auction. Reads that today Harcourts, Rata and Co. sells for on behalf of the vendor all this land together with any improvements described. The attached copy of title volume 11120 folio 676, or that's more commonly known to you and I as number 8 Escape Drive here in Doreen. Selling with the property today are all fixed floor coverings, light fittings, fixed window furnishings and any other fixtures and fittings of a permanent nature. Today, once the property is sold, we will call on the successful purchaser to pay deposit equal to 10% of the purchase price upon the fall of the hammer, and the signing of the contract to be today and the balance to be paid at settlement in a flexible 30 to 60 days time, at which time the vendor will provide the lucky buyer with vacant possession of the property attached to and forming part of the contract is the vendor statement pursuant to section 32 of the Sale of Land Act. This document includes a copy of the certificate of title as well as any relevant council planning and zoning information. All in all, quite a straightforward contract. Everything is quite good. So guys, it's with my highest recommendation. Locked off the sale here today. What an opportunity for you as a family. What an opportunity for the first home buyer. What an opportunity for the investor to invest in this location in the heart of Doreen, where we've experienced so much capital growth. And if you look up and down Escape Drive, you can see some very house-proud owners because they know that this is quite a special location. Not only has it increased in value substantially over recent years, but it has so for very good reason, because we enjoy so much infrastructure at our fingertips, easy access to a plethora of parkland in the surrounding streets, easy access to good quality shopping and also good quality schools, both primary and secondary. The home itself, I'm sure you've all had the opportunity, to view it, you've all had the opportunity to love it. Today, guys, is your opportunity to own it. I'm in your hands. Where can I see a fair reasonable starting bid for number 8 Escape Drive in Doreen? Who'd like to start us off? Where can I see a start, buyers? I don't mind the call, start me where you like. I've gotten used to looking at a screen, so I can stand here and look at a crowd all day long. It doesn't worry me. You can take your time to decide at 580,000. I'll go with you, sir, ma'am, at 580,000 now. At 580,000 now, perhaps throw me off the 6 if you're here to buy. At 580 now the bid. At 580,000, fairly been offered at 580 the bid. Got to be 600 in the ride. At 580,000, bid here against everyone else. If you're here to buy, now is your time. Now is your opportunity, buyers. At 580,000 once. At 580 we're all done. At 580,000 twice. At 580 are we done? Finished. At 590, sir. At 600,000 now, and that's a better bid. It would put you in good stead here today. 600,000, same go to 620 if you like. At 620, yes. At 600,000 bids here against you for 20 now if you like. At 600,000, fairly been offered. At 600,000, fairly been offered now here on my right. Okay, at 610, you can kill me if I take your 10 because I refuse this, but I will take it to get you back involved. And now, so I'll give you the same courtesy at 10 if you like. At 600,000, in the right. At 610,000, fairly been offered now here at 610. At 610,000, not at the head, we'll do it at 20. At 610,000, fairly been offered now once. At 610,000, done. At 610,000, twice. At 610.
20.
At 20, I heard the 20 there, sir. It'll be a little bit quicker if you want to buy, but you can beat everyone to the country early now, sir. At 620,000, the bid's there. Against you, sir, ma'am. Also over here, at 620,000, now fairly bid and offered. Welcome and best of luck here today. At 620, gosh. At 620,000, going to be at least 30 in the rise now. 620 the bid. At 620,000 now once. At 620. At 30 now, welcome back to 630,000. At 630,000, what do you say? It's 30 now. There's the bid. It's against you for 40 now if you like. One bid will not do it for you here today. Give me at least 2 or 3 or 10. At 630,000, fairly been offered now once. At 630,000, done. At 630,000 twice. At 630, at 40, 640 back, sir. At 640,000. At 640, the bid's here back against you, sir, ma'am, at 640,000. Haven't got about you with Joel there. 640 got. At 640,000, bids there against you at 640 now. At 640,000, if you want to buy, you've got to be decisive. At 640,000, that's the nature of the market at the moment. A lot of heat and for good reason. Melburnians love property, especially coming out of lockdown. At 640,000, fairly been off now. 50 in the rise, I'm asking. At 640,000 once. At 640, all done. Twice. At 50 now, welcome back at 50. 60 like at 50 I've got. At 650,000, there, opportunity here and over there at 50 now. At 650,000. At 650,000, got to be 60 at least. At 650 the bid. Once. At 650. At 650,000 twice. At 60 now, welcome back to 660. At 660,000, I always hate when we get to 660. It's a bit of a tongue twister for me. On the first 670, it sounds so much better. At 660,000, can I say 50 now on the right? At 660,000, fairly good up and 70 behind. Best of luck. At 670, that's better. At 680, still easy for me to say. 65. I've got 70 now. At 670,000, the bid's behind against you and you, sir, ma'am. And over here at 670,000. At 670,000, at 670,000, bid there, looking for 80 now. At 670, I'll take the 5.
Take 5, Rob.
I will take the 5 over here, 75. At 675, same courtesy to get you back involved, the 5 if you like, sir. At 675,000, make it 80 on the right. At 680, opportunity taken. At 680,000. At 680,000, the thing is you've got to be quicker than the competition if you want to buy. At 680 now, I'm only taking 5 for 10's a bit of bid. At 680,000, fairly been offered. I'll still take your 5 if you got it. What was that at? At 680, I'll take 2.5 so if it helps you get involved. Can I say 82.5? At 680,000 at 1, at 681. At 681 now. At 681,000, the best response to a small bid is a big bid. At 681,000, the bid there. At 681, at 82 now, we'll go in twos, brick by brick, no worries, we've got a bit of time. At 682,000. At 682,000, the bid there. What was that, sir? At 90, welcome, and that's the big bid I was looking for. At 690,000. At 690,000, bid back there, 690 the bid. At 690,000, fairly been offered now, opportunity in front. I'll still take you one, don't want to scare you off, it's just a big bid. You can make one too, sir. At 690,000 now, fairly been offered for the first call. At 690, are we done?
91, Rob.
At 91 now, 691. At 691,000, we've got instructions and at 691,000. At 95 now, 695. I will say there's no half-time break here today.
700.
95,000.
700.
At 700,000. At 700,000, no half-time break. I'm not going inside. I'm not referring to the vendors. My instructions were given and they were absolutely clear. We sell here today at 700,000. The bid's there against my 3 buyers here at 700,000. We're on the market and selling away, no better bid. At 705 now. At 705,000. Seems like all the buyers have congregated over here. The tie's over there at 705,000. At 705,000 against you now at 705. We're on the market now, ma'am, sir. At 705, we sell away, no better bid. At 705,000, make absolutely no mistake about it. We're playing for keeps now. At 705,000, if you've come to buy, this may be your last chance. At 705, at 710 now. Welcome back, sir. Put yourself back ahead just in time at 710,000 now. At 710, Ron, let them know the bid's against them, not with them. At 710,000, we sell here today. At 710,000, bid in front, opportunity behind. Haven't we got about you, sir? All you certainly green in the middle. And my buyers over here at 710,000 once. At 710, are we done? At 710,000. I will take 2.5 for 712.5. Why not? 712.5. At 712,500. At 712,500, the opportunity is again is in front, the bid's behind. At 712 and at 712.5 now. At 712,500,000. At 712,500,000, sir.
715.
At 715 now. At 715,000, back in front of the competition at 715. At 715,000. So you can't buy like that, you can only buy like this. At 715,000, bids in front. At 715 now, keys are with the highest bidder. We sell here today at 715,000 once. at 715. Are we done? At 715,000 twice. At 715. All done. All finished. Third. Final call. At 715,000. All done. Finished. Sorted it out. At 715. Sir, man, we've definitely done over here. Can't entice you in for a cheeky half even. You've definitely done. Thank you very much for your bidding here today. At 715,000 bids still with you, sir, man, we've done over here. Thank you very much for your participation. 1,000 at 716,000. Going to get back. At 716,000. Took a long time to make that decision. You had him on the ropes. A big bid. Might just do it for you now. At 716,000, sir, you've definitely done in the middle. Thank you very much for your bidding here today. At 716,000, the bid behind. It's against you in front. At 716,000. At 716,000 now. And a half now. 716 and a half. At 716,000. 4 bids entice the competition to come along. To keep fighting. You've got to have a big bid. You've got to place a big bid to lock the competition out. At 716,500. The 500 has put your head. I haven't said that. At 716,500 now. The opportunity for your buy, Ron. At 717,500 now. At 717. At 717,000. Bid back here now, or rather in front now. 717 got us out. At 717,000 once. At 717 done. Twice. At 720, that's a better bid. At 720,000 time. At 720,000. At 720,000 keep back in front. At 720 now. So I need tonight 720,000 to beat here. Everyone else tells me they're out. You might just take one more bid, one more roll of the dice, one more leap of faith. At 720,000 to beat here. You sure you want to learn and keep the kick? Thank you very much for this video. Next time we meet at $720,000. Bids here, keys are here. No more bids, we sell away once. At 720, are we all done? Twice. At 720,000, done. Finished. Third. Final call. At 720,000 the bid. All done. All finished. Signing it out at 720. We're selling. 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 So congratulations, Robbie. Congratulations to our purchasers and our wonderful vendors here today. Thank you for attending another on-site Harcourts Rata Eco auction. We look forward to seeing a lot of you between now and Christmas. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Rob, it says your pod's been disconnected.
Huh?
Your pod has been disconnected.
Yeah, that's all right.